Nothing on my trousers.
No, not at all.
Don't say anything about my trousers. Hello everybody, welcome back to Ball Street. Yesterday, Man City defeated.
Yeah.
Going into the big quarter-final against Spurs, it was 23 wins in 24 games, Mr. Boultwood.
Was it? And we still beat them.
We still did them. Boltwood's with me now. As you all know, he's a Spurs fan. Went to the game yesterday?
Yes, I did. It was great. It was amazing.
Well, let's start there because I think we can talk about so many little incidents and kind of explore those briefly. The VAR, Harry Kane's injury, Son, what are you going to do now? Champions League football next season, even if you get through this, that is a lot. But the atmosphere and the feeling from everyone, and we were chatting about it before the game started at work, there was a kind of feeling of like you needed to win this one. What was it like when you got to the ground?
Yeah, it's good. I think there's a lot of excitement. Obviously, it's only the second proper game, as it were, in the new stadium. I think there was a lot of anticipation, but nervousness, as you say there, because it is probably the biggest game of the season for us. But I think once the lineups came out, I think when we saw those, it was quite surprising. Obviously, a lot's been made of Guardiola dropping De Bruyne and Sané as well. It just seemed like, okay, there's sort of a chance to win, because I think Pochettino put out what is our strongest possible team. So I think, once the game started, I think there was a little bit of expectation that we might be able to get something from it. Obviously, the penalty incident and Kane getting injured, it was a little bit like the hopes were dashed there, but then obviously everything came out Millhouse in the end.
It did. Let's talk about the VAR thing. So, as someone who was at the game, I was watching it on the telly and I was thinking, this is crap. Like, I'm waiting and waiting. There's no real understanding of what's going on, and VAR is something that I think everyone's accepted as something that needs to be a part of football. But for me, much like the Man United PSG goal, the penalty, the handball for that, it feels like there's an element of kind of nitpicking with it, because no one appealed for that handball with Danny Rose. Yeah. But then I look at comments after on Twitter or wherever, and some people are saying it's a penalty, some people are saying it's not a penalty. What was happening whilst you were there?
So everyone was quite confused as to why. Obviously it had gone to VAR, but as soon as it went to VAR, everyone around us said, it's going to be a penalty. There's no way they look at it on VAR and then go, do you know what, it's not a penalty. There must have been a reason they were looking. So it wasn't as long as a break as I was thinking. It must have been about 30 seconds or so. But I think we all knew what was coming. I think having seen the replays, everyone watching it at half time on the screens was kind of quite...
you were able to see it on the screens at half time?
They were playing like Sky Sports in the ground at half time. Right. Or BT Sport, I should say. They were showing the replays. I think everyone was pretty aggrieved that the penalty was given and felt, justice has been done. Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? It's just, I think as you're saying, VAR is the right way to go and it's necessary. But when you slow things down to that degree and you freeze frame it distorts. It doesn't look. It's sort of taking it out of context weirdly, even though it's examining it in more detail. So
there was a great Guardian article talking about it, saying that when you slow it down and you see the different angles, you almost take it out of reality a little bit.
Yeah, it's not. Of course, it looks like handball there, but in the motion of the game, when you're going at full speed, I don't think it was handball. And from what I could gather, there's different rules for the Champions League and the Premier League as to what is a handball. In the Champions League, if there's any attempt to unnaturally make your body bigger in order to stop the ball, it's a penalty, which kind of Danny Rose did, but his arm's coming down.
I don't really understand what else he's supposed to do with his arm.
Yeah, you can't slide like this, like a penguin or something.
And then turn and still keep your arm.
It's like the balance of your arms and stuff. Yeah. So I think there just needs to be a very sort of standard rule across all the different competitions. It needs to be very clearly communicated to the fans, because at the moment it's just very confusing, the whole thing.
Yeah. Moving on then, Harry Kane. That was another thing with the VAR thing. I was like, what's the deal with Fernandinho giving Kane a little elbow down there?
It's game-changing instance, I guess, isn't it, as opposed to in the middle of the park. Yeah. But it would have been nice if they saw that on VAR.
That's my whole problem with it as well, is the kind of, even myself watching it, you're bitter. You're becoming bitter. You're going, well, that wasn't fair, so then I get this, and you're starting to sort of create a tally of like...
Yeah, because they were like, even at that point when, the Fernandinho incident went on, you couldn't see exactly what was going on, but there were still loads of Spurs fans around going, oh, VAR, doing this sort of thing.
I don't know.
So it creates a weird atmosphere, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can imagine. And then even so Harry Kane getting injured. Yeah. We'll talk about more the ramifications of that, because it's done now. But the Son goal, even with that, you had You got the moment of. Did you get the moment of celebration? You then had to wait.
Everyone went mental. It was a bit confusing because from where I'm in the north stand, so obviously we were quite far away, the opposite end to where the goal was scored. It looked like it might have gone out, but of course everyone went mental when he scored. Couldn't quite understand how he'd scored or squeaked it under Edison. He probably should have done better.
Yeah.
But then everyone had celebrated. The VAR break again. It was only brief, so it was okay. And then everyone celebrates again, sort of thing. I don't mind it too much, but yeah, as you say, the mechanics of it are a bit.
I just think that people are going to get like.
We can't celebrate. We can't celebrate.
Yeah, they're going to get sort of post-traumatic stress of previous times where we were undone by it. But Son, it was a great example of everything that he's good at. The goal, the great run. I mean, a great moment from Eriksen as well with the pass. So I thought he was quiet otherwise. Moving forward without Kane, and then without Kane, a lot of people are talking about how it's okay. It's fine because you've got Son, and Son's what was it, his last 6 goals of his.
The last 5 or 6 goals the Son scored have come when Kane's not on the pitch.
Yeah. And you dealt without Kane well to a point in terms of results. But so if anyone's kind of is it rose-tinted glasses to go, look, we've won this game, you've got the kind of good feeling from that, but moving forward, there's got to be a few nerves going into the second leg and the rest of the season. Yeah,
definitely. I think when it initially happened, the tackle looked bad and Kane literally went straight down the tunnel, so everyone was pretty worried. I think this morning you're kind of like, maybe it is okay. Son obviously stepped up to the plate last night.
Do you think there's any truth in the fact that Kane is a bit more static? He's a bit more of a hold-up man.
I think there is. He likes to. I think there is, because Kane likes to receive the ball. He likes to make the turn. He makes great passes to the other attacking players. I think there is truth in that, and it's a different sort of style of play. I think previously when Kane's been out, the likes of Son, Ali, Eriksen have stepped up and sort of contributed in terms of the goals, which we're hoping they could do again. I think previously when Kane was out, there was a period just before he's come back, and we've had a terrible run, and we didn't have a win in 5 before the win at Palace. But before that, we were on this incredible run where we were sort of nicking these wins. The last-minute goal at Fulham, we got a last-minute winner at Newcastle, where Kane wasn't there. And I think, as you said, that was rose-tinted glasses. We weren't playing well. We got a little bit lucky. The rub of the green came, So I think, I don't want to distort what the form was like before. We weren't playing well, and we were squeaking wins without Kane. When he comes back, I think that was sort of leveled itself out almost. But I think we'll be okay. I think the fixtures.
In terms of top 4.
Yeah, I think the fixtures are pretty kind for us. I think we've got 4 or 5 home games now. I've only got 1 or 2 away games. One at Man City, which is almost a write-off, it feels like, although after last night, maybe not. And I think we were away at Leicester as well. But we've got those home games. I think the new stadium has made a massive impact. The atmosphere is incredible. The whole...
Does it? Yeah. Is there that feeling of is it giving you that real boost?
100%. To have a year and a half at Wembley, I think definitely the last few months at Wembley were just couldn't wait to get back to where we should be. And the atmosphere last night, the atmosphere was incredible. Like the stadium's an absolute dream. It's amazing to be in games like that and have 60-odd thousand Spurs fans there. It's incredible. So having that, I think, for the rest of the home games where things are so tight is going to be really important. And I think the players like Ali, who is coming back from injury himself and is sort of getting his way up to 100% in terms of his performance. Son's obviously, firing on all cylinders. Eriksen hasn't been playing well since Christmas, really. And hasn't really endeared himself to Spurs fans with his performances, but hopefully now he can sort of step into the gap that Kane's going to create.
Still has those moments in terms of the assist. For
it's mad. He played awful last night, and then gets the assist. But I think we'll be okay in that. Even Arsenal, who've got away games at Watford and Wolves, you've got Chelsea, who've got to play Man United, who've got to play Liverpool. I think we'll just about squeak into the top 4, despite Kane, who is our best player, sort of being absent.
And final one, then Pochettino saying that Man City is still the favourites. I was at Vauxhall Station, and I saw a lot of Spurs fans sort of on their way home. Yeah. And they're all kind of a bit, I could almost feel the kind of nerves in their conversations. There doesn't seem to be the real excitement that you would normally get from winning that first leg of a quarter-final. So going into the second leg, would you say that Man City are favourites? How do you feel about that game going into it?
Yeah, it's weird because we sort of came away from it. I think we deserved to win. We edged the game last night, but it felt like, that was Son. It was almost like a half chance almost that Son took. He did fantastic work to take it. And again, Guardiola, I don't know whether he overthought it. The lineup that he sort of put out there, Mahrez over Sané, De Bruyne not playing, bringing those two on in the last minute of the game, a like-for-like substitution with Aguero and Jesus, expecting that to change things. I think he'll get the team selection right for the second game, and I think it's going to be very difficult for us to win that game at the City Manchester Stadium. But I think no matter what, like, it was a fantastic performance last night. We're all buzzing off of it, and having such an amazing win at the new stadium, I hope we can win. But it's going to be very difficult, I think. It is going to be very difficult.
Yeah, okay. Let's know your thoughts on this one. Can Spurs deal with the fact that Harry Kane looks like he's going to be injured till the rest of the season? Out. And can they beat Man City, or can they at least get a draw at Man City and go through in the Champions League? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Ball Street, and we'll see you soon.